Hello. Hi, Dr. Alvarez. I know that the video cut off after 15 minutes on YouTube and I couldn't get the video back. So I'm going to start off on the slide that I was on, which was a few slides ago. So we will go back to talking about the project-based learning. And that was the study that Hattie had done. Actually, this study was done in 2011. Looking at the project-based learning and its effect. It yields a D equals 0.24, which is a small effect. But they wanted to reiterate that this was just where we give a kid a project as opposed to setting the background instruction. And so we know we can maximize learning more if we talked about lecturing, note-taking, studying those notes and then using those notes into a project. Of course, that can increase the efficacy of this. And since I'm a big project-based learning teacher, I was sort of bummed when I saw that 0.24. But I know that that can be better with a lot of the other effects, like the technology, for example, putting a kid on a computer, which had half the effect. So this doubled the effect, and it's something they can also be doing at home on Google Class. So it's something that they can continue learning, and it can inspire them to learn on their own as well. And we want them to be ultimately autonomous in learning, and we want them to take that learning on their own. So, I'm going to keep my eyes open on this. I know there's a lot more research that is to be done in that area. And again, this wasn't in his original list of effects anyway. But this last slide is the meta-analysis of fine-tuning these studies, sort of putting it all together. And as of 2015, Hattie had added some influences, so he had 256 influences. This was considering 1,400 factors. It was after 80,000 studies, and it had involved over 300 million students as to what worked best in education. In addition, there's a German team that's working on a new synthesis using Hattie's research, but they're looking at what motivates students and what helps to emotionally support students in the classroom so that they can learn. And these are two really hot topics right now. We know that students need to be emotionally settled rather than emotionally charged in order for them to be able to accept learning. And motivation is key. We know we need to inspire students to learn. So I'm really interested in hearing what this German team finds out from their research. We know that this model needs refinement and continued study. It is qualitative, and it is changeable. And so I know that a lot of people are going to continue to look at Hattie's study and sort of try to either debunk it or prove it, or do both. And so the takeaway from Visible Learning, Hattie's research, is that up to 25% of student learning and the variance of student learning lies with the teacher. And also, when educators focus on defining, evaluating, and understanding their impacts on student learning, that learning is maximized. And we know that as teachers, there's a lot of interruptions during the school day. There's obviously the recesses and lunch, the basic interruptions, but there's also music, orchestra, band, there is pullouts, there's ELD, there's IIC. So there's a lot of different things we have to organize around. So those minutes we do have the kids in our class, we need to maximize those minutes. And so this is really key to understand that we do hold a lot of power in our hands as teachers on how those minutes can be maximized. We know also, especially in America, that we need to build the capacity of teachers, a strong teaching force, and we need to try to not allow the ungrounded opinions of people, the fads. These are those bandwagon approaches that we may start do for a year or two and then let go of. And also favorite methodologies, which would be the things that teachers do consistently year after year after year, and they don't want to let go of. And so there are some things that you do just because they're nostalgic, but there's other things that teachers probably need to let go of. I think if they knew what was really effective learning strategies, they would. If you had proof, if you could show them why. And so this is, just a part of teaching. And I do believe that teachers are willing to change if they can be proven that this will work. So these are my references. This is what I used for this slideshow presentation. 2 of the articles were written by John Hattie, and then of course I had additional articles that researched Hattie's research, and so they added just a new look at what he was doing. And I think people are really interested in learning about what works best. And so I'm going to keep my eyes open, because I too want to know what works best for those valuable minutes that we have with those students. So thank you for watching, and I hope this clarifies the rest of the slideshow for you. Have a good evening. Bye-bye.